Hey, DifferenceInSkill, and this is Amulet bringing you a palemoon deck profile. So before I start, I'll just answer some questions because a few people have been asking about me where I got this mat. So I actually got this mat from RPG Casters. So check their channel out if you guys haven't heard of them before. But I'm guessing that Chan's gonna be printing these mats out soon or something similar. So I guess you can ask them as well. So today I have this Nendroid here because if you guys get bored of my voice, you guys have something to look at. Alright, so let's start. So to begin with, 4 Dragon Tamers. So well, this is obviously the ace of the deck. Her ability, Limit Break 4, Counterblast 3, and you can call one of every grade from your soul. So like when you activate her ability, you get to move out 1 grade 3, 1 grade 2, 1 grade 1, and a grade 0 onto the field, and so it doesn't matter if it's opened or not. So you can just call them out on any slot you want. And her second ability is that she gains 3k for every card that comes out of the soul. So when you activate her ability, she basically gains like 12k attack right away. So there's a +4. It's a good card. The other 3, so the other grade 3 I run is 3 Barking Manticore. And basically this card is it's okay. I like to run this because if I don't get my Dragon Tamer, I can ride this card on, and his ability is when you ride this card, you can draw one and soul charge a card into your soul. So it just gives me the option of soul charging, and I can choose what I want to put in. So if I'm lacking like any sort of grade, like, well, it shouldn't be possible because if you're riding properly, you'll always have a grade 0 to 3. So really it's just giving myself a bit more options of what I might want to call out with Dragon Tamer later on. Grade 2s. Grade 2s for Nitro Juggler, I think. And basically its effect is when it's called, I soul charge 1. It's necessary in this deck because this deck actually doesn't really have a lot of soul charge function. So these cards are just for giving myself more options at what I want to take out. Next 4 I have for Jumping Jill. When she's moved out of soul, she gains 3k during this turn. So just a really standard 12k beater. And then I have 3 Circus Dog. Carabellus, I think? I don't know. Well, the 10k beater. So I run 3 only because I don't want to put any more than 11 grade 2s into the deck. And I prefer to have the 4 Jills instead because there's a high chance that I'll be taking these out of the soul with Dragon Tamer's effect, or I can use Trapeze, Purple Trapeze, to take these out, and then it just becomes a better beater than the 10k. And then I really need these 4 for the soul charging, so I just want 3. So for the grade 1s, I have 1 Bunny. This is just basically a tech, and you guys might have noticed earlier that I don't have any Alice's in this deck, or any sort of the Mirror Demon, I think. Not that many cards that has that effect where if I hit, I can put them back in their soul and call something out. And the reason being is that just Dragon Tamer ability costs Counterblast 3, and if I want to make use of her ability, there isn't really enough Counterblast 3s going around to be using these, so I put 1 Bunny in just to tech that if I have a counter blast, I can get an additional hit with Bunny. So basically, I just so if the effect passed through, I take out something like so if they don't have a trigger, I can actually just take out any level 2 I want, like this would do, or this, because it becomes a 12k. Or the other combo is actually I take out purple trapeze and I soul charge the unit that's already rest, and then I bring out new beater, and then I have one column that I can boost again. So that being said, 3 trapeze. I would run 4 actually, but I'm just missing one, so I don't bother about it. And I think actually 3 is quite enough. Well, actually 4 is probably safer in terms of if I want to pull off the loops with trapeze. Is when I do a Dragon Tamer, I can choose this as my level 1, and if I don't want my grade 0, I can just put that back into soul and bring out a better booster. And then the next, I have 3 Hypnosis guy. He's basically the perfect guard of this deck, and I'm running only 3. I could be running 4, but actually supposedly the Bunny was supposed to be the 4th perfect guard, but I wanted to have a tech in the deck, and just to have the effect that I might use once in a blue moon. So I took that out for a perfect guard. Maybe not that good of an idea, but I prefer to use the Bunny. Well, I prefer to have it there. Next, I have 4 8k booster. Pretty standard. And basically this deck's really good at setting these up out on the back row, because I have the Trapeze who can set up these 8Ks on the back for me, or I can have Dragon Tamer to get these back out into the field. Next, I have 4 Skull Juggler, and this is the same effect as Nitro. Basically, when this is called out on the field, you soul charge 1, and these really help with getting more options in terms of what I need to actually shit out in the soul. And then my trigger lineup is 4 critical triggers, followed by 4 other critical triggers, making 8. And then I have 4 draws. And then of course 4 heal triggers. So some of you might think, maybe why don't you run that stand trigger where you soul charge that and then you unflip the damage, and then you can activate Dragon Tamer's ability again or something. But I just don't think it's gonna be that helpful in terms, especially if I want to run the stand triggers, I would actually have to take out 2 criticals. I wouldn't do the heal triggers, because if I actually get these cards, then the heal will unflip the damage for me most of the time, unless I draw into them. So no, I rather heal damage and unflip it like that. And I don't want to take out 2 crits because I just feel like the deck won't be doing enough. It won't be hitting hard enough without the 8 crits. And then the 4 draws is pretty standard just to get some draw power, because besides Dragon Tamer, there isn't really anything that can add to your hand size. And in general, I think there's really no need to go through a second time of Dragon Tamer's ability, because really 1 time is good enough to set up your entire field. There's no need to go and pump her up to 30,000 again. And then I have my starter, Girl Who Crossed the Gap. This is probably the best starter for Palemoon in my opinion, because her ability is Counter Blast 1, and then you can put her soul and take anything out of the soul. So that gives you an easy setup, like, oh, I don't have a booster, let's just soul charge this and grab the level 1 that I dumped out earlier. Or I ride it earlier. So, most of the case being is probably like, oh, this is my grade 1 that I ride it. I'm at grade 2, so just put any grade 2 on. I need a booster. I'll just counter boss 1 and pull this out. And I have a booster now. So easy. And basically with this deck is that setup is incredibly easy. Like, it's probably one of the most consistent deck in terms of maybe not against paladins. This deck's pretty consistent in terms of making a setup, because Dragon Tamer itself, you get a +4. You set up grade 3, grade 2, grade 1, grade 0. Oh look, full field. And most of the time you can actually just put this back out, counter blast again, and get something better. That being said, the problem with this deck is really with the options of soul charging. Most of the time, actually, what you need to actually take out with Dragon Tamer's ability isn't actually the biggest problem, because what you ride, your deck's mostly full of just beaters. And that being said, so when you take your cards out by her ability, you don't really have anything at disadvantage, because they're all beaters already. And then so at max, you're probably missing maybe, if you use Gap's ability like early, you might be missing like a grade 1 or a grade 2. And if you ride Dragon Tamer first, you might be missing a grade 3. So that's actually kind of a problem, because the deck doesn't really have much soul charge option. That's why the Nitro Jugglers, I don't know, the Nitro. So here's the Juggler. Here's the Magician. These are very important. They help you get your options in of what you actually need to get out with Dragon Tamer. But there's always that chance where you might be having a really bad game and you soul charge all your triggers in, and then you're like, oh crap, I have nothing to take out with my Dragon Tamer, and then I can't gain 12k. I can't +4 now. Worst day ever. Worst day ever. And that's mostly this deck. So really this deck is just really good at getting a full feel, and then you hit some very nice numbers, because you're always able to hit magic. You're always able to set up a good feel with like magic numbers and everything. So it's good. Just very standard beatdown vanilla, right? After you use Dragon Tamer, in my opinion. Like, I guess you can say that it's a good deck for setting up stuff, but it kind of becomes a very standard beatdown deck afterwards, and you can't really incorporate a lot of the cards like too many of these or Alice's or the Mirror Demon, because she eats up too much counter blast. But nevertheless, it's good because she gets you your feel, your setup, and then you just hit magic numbers all day. Pretty much that's the deck. And these, I actually think about, these are debatable really. I think they're good because if I'm missing something, I can put anything I want in, but at the same time, because they're only 10k, and this deck only really having one 8k booster, it really hits, numbers actually just hit 17 most of the time, but with Jill, you can actually hit 20s and 18s easy. But the problem with that is that you have to somehow get Jill out of soul every turn. So I actually consider running one of those. Let me just find it. I consider running these over Manticore just because these guys, they just hit their 12k right off the bat. I think they're 12k as long as they hit the Vanguard. No. This card needs to be boosted. Okay, so they're 12k as long as they're boosted. Well, about the same thing. So yeah, and yeah, maybe I should switch these all, but I'm still missing a copy to get the last Manticore out with. I'll probably get those somehow. So yeah, in terms of tricks, we have Bunny, probably the most, probably the only trick I have in this really deck, besides setting up the field with Trapezist. So basically, hit, get that out, whatever's over here, put that in the soul, get it out again. Oh look, full field. And that's it for the Pale Moon deck. Bye.